What's happening, people? Black is officially back for a brand new video. I've been meaning to do this for quite some time. I wanted to make a video going over the novel of DMCV, which recently came out. I didn't want to start the whole playthrough without going over some of the backstory regarding the newest installment of the DMC franchise. Getting a couple of good news and stuff out the way. I just reached 100 subscribers as of recently this week, so I will be coming up with a surprise for you all. Can't say what it is. It's a surprise I didn't even expect. I just came up with it, so hope you all enjoy that when it comes out. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to read this novel. It was not supposed to have been made in English, but the people over at DMC Info on Twitter, they were so nice enough to make a translation. They worked tirelessly from the time they started to the time they finished, so I want to give them all a big thank you. Hopefully I will link their Twitter and all of that stuff down below, and I have Google copy of it so that you guys can see it in the comment section as well. So without any more, let's jump right into the action. And I have these glasses on so I can read everything and give you the best experience, and I'll give my thoughts and reactions as I go along. So let's go. Rare novel translation made back in last month. That's all the backstory information. You can pause at any time and look through it for yourselves. If you want to get started on this chapter, let's go. Prologue chapter. Nico is meeting an occult journalist named Jeffrey Tomer in a bar. Jeffrey works for the Occult Time magazine. Oh, they have a magazine. Nico's drink of choice is a boiler marker with beer and bourbon. Nico tells Jeffrey to tell her Miss Goldstein produces a copy of Occult Times from 5 years ago. Feels nostalgic about this issue as it contains the first feature that he ever wrote. Okay, that's good. How to save your take Fortuna. Nico bluntly tells him that he doesn't care about nostalgia. Okay, they're referencing Devil May Cry 4. Jeffrey is curious about how she knows about Fortuna, as it is one of the most secluded regions of the world, and citizens are quite antiquated. He tells Nico that he didn't witness the events for himself, but he heard that the city was destroyed by a white giant, the savior. Nico tells Jeffrey that while the magazine may exaggerate the truth or mix in with a few falsehoods, these events did happen. Jeffrey investigates the Order of the Sword as best as he could, but the locals would not speak to outsiders, and it seemed that all key members of the Order, high members, leaders, had disappeared while general members remained. They became skeptical, he spelled skeptical wrong, of the Order's creed. Jeffrey speculates that the white giant was a result of some failed summonings that destroyed the city. Yup. The Order was corrupted in Devil May Cry 4. Go back up. Nico says he tried to investigate the Fortuna himself, but most places would have a no entry sign and stood among the city as an outsider. Jeffrey tries to make toast with Nico and picks up his glasses, but she ignores him and goes back to the magazine. He sighs and puts his glasses down. Nico goes back to the magazine where she knows Jeffrey a picture of Fortuna covered in rubble. In this picture, a young man whose face was concealed. Nico asks about the young man, and Jeffrey says this is N. He was like a point of contact for with Jeffrey about the story, but he didn't give a lot of useful information. Nico asked if N seemed like a member of the Order of the Sword, and Jeffrey said he did, but he departed from them. Okay, so he left the Order of the Sword after Democrat 4, and to some extent the novel. Nico wants to know N's name, but Jeffrey is apprehensive. He asks why he wants to know N's name, and Nico immediately replies that she wants to meet N. Jeffrey would usually forget people's names, but this case was special to him as it was his first overseas reporting, and he was so enthusiastic. Now his career is dwindling, so he outwardly tells her that his name is Nero. Nico also asks if he has a surname, but Jeffrey said he doesn't know, because nobody has surnames in Devil May Cry. Well, last names anyway. Jeffrey asks Nico why she's going to Fortuna. She replies, "I'm aiming high," as in aiming for the stars. She drops a bourbon in her beer glass. She's into one drink, gives a big and leaves. She leaves behind her copy of Cold Times. Tells Jeffrey to keep it as a memento. Jeffrey wonders if he heard of ghosting before, but he's too drunk to remember. Nico, alright. So Nico leaves and search for Nero. Nero chapter 1. The chapter begins with Nero working in his garage as he struggles to get the Red Queen to rep properly. Nero quickly speaks to the sword and asks if it is pouting while tidying in the garage. Julio, an orphan that Nero helps Kiria take care of, says that there's a strange woman outside. Nero asks what makes her so strange. Does she have 3 eyes and no nose? Julio replies that it's not her appearances, but it's the fact that he says she is searching for Nero. After the Order of the Sword incident, Nero is wary of strangers as a cult. Reporters, novelists, etc. come to the city for details, but he can't tell them the truth. Julio says that the woman has dark skin and glasses, believing this woman to be Gloria. Nero asks Julio if her hair is white. Julio says that her hair is black and frizzy. Overhearing this, Nico yells, "Who has black frizzy hair?" and "You stupid brat," and barges into the front of the garage. Julio then points at her and says it's not. Nico says it's not nice to point. Julio would retort, but Nero tells him to go to Kiria with a serious face, so he listens. Rolling down, Nero asks what business Nico has while making sure to hide his Dovebringer from her. He feels that the Dovebringer bestowed him great divine power, and he uses it to protect the person that he loves. While he used to be sick of his ugly appearance, now is grateful for it. So that's confirmed. He appreciates the Dovebringer now. It is stated that Nero uses his arm to judge whether someone is a demon or not. If they're a demon, his arm will have some sort of reaction. As his arm does not react, he believes that he's either a human or a demon with minimal powers. Nico asks him if he's Nero. Nero insists that he stops smoking before asking any more questions, as he hates smoking and the garage is filled with combustible items. Well, that's reasonable and understandable. Nico basically tells him that he should take the lectures for the Brady kid from earlier. Nero starts to get irritated by her rudeness and tells her to put the cigarette out and get out. He drops the cigarette on the floor, smashes it with her boot, washes it with a boot, Is this okay? No smoking boy. Nero theme. She is an unpleasant woman. Nero estimates that they are the same age. Maybe she's a little younger, but she acts like she's older than him. A senpai, probably a master or a mentor or something. As Nico enters the garage, she both arms in the air, teases him by saying, "Are you going to hit me, a frail woman?" As she approaches him, he sees Dealbringer, and Nero afraid it happened after from her seeing it. Now, however, she sits on the box in the corner and says, "What? Have a complex about it. Don't worry. It's part of who you are." She then introduces herself as Nicoletta Goldstein and says that that's the people that ask Nero. Nico is looking for a missing order of the sort of demonic research documents. She says that she has no choice but to ask surviving members of the order to help find them. While talking to Nico, Nero notes that there's no ill will within her, more like childlike curiosity. Nero asks how Nico knew about the order research demons, as this wasn't public knowledge. She says that she researched this information from a range of people, from demon hunters to chain smoking, gossip loving old lady. As Nico shows knowledge of demons and demon hunters, Nero reflects that this is the first time someone with a genuine connection to demons, besides cheesy cult articles, has found him. Because of this, he rejects her request to help her find the order documents. After being told no, Nico doesn't leave. Instead, she asks how this is now. This shocks Nero. He tells Nico that he is killed. Nico, the air of loneliness, said about that rumor. Nero asks how she knows about that asshole, and Nico says that he is her biological father. In disbelief, Nero can't stop questioning about Nico. Can't stop questioning Nico about it. Her response is simply, "Yeah, what bad luck." During his daughter exchange, Nico knows the Red Queen and instantly picks it up. Nero scolds her for touching stuff without permission. Nico begins examining the Red Queen and gets so excited at its design. He begins to shudder. Nero keeps trying to snatch it from her, but eventually stops and watches in awe. She quickly identifies what's wrong with the Red Queen and begins repairing it. As she fixes it, she scolds Nero and calls him an idiot for not keeping up with the Red Queen's regular maintenance. He then begins to accept that this is Andu's daughter, as they both share the same love for research and even have similar skin color. Nico repairs Red Queen and says, "Baby, how you do?" She tests it out by ribbing it, but its power knocks her to the floor. While Nero thought she'd get angry, she smiled and dusts herself off. Says that the Red Queen is very rowdy, but a cutie. After repairing the Red Queen, Nero is indebted to Nico. He decided to show her the order documents, and this makes her smile from ear to ear. She tells him that from now on, he's allowed to call her Nico. Chapter ends, Nero thinking about the man who killed her father, Dante. Dante's chapter 1. Chapter begins with Dante searching through Marley Island and speaking with Mathieu from Del May Cry 2. On the harbor, struggles to recall the name and asks if the name Mathieu. He then corrects with Mathieu. He figured Sparta would forget her and other names as well. Sparta is described as Ninja's right-hand man who betrayed him due to feeling compassion towards humans. Before meeting evil, Sparta would travel around the world, and that's how he met Mattia. And eventually Eva. That makes sense. Spend so much time in the human world, you have to have a lot of resources to do a lot of cool, exciting things. Dante doesn't have any memories of Sparta, but recalls receiving sword lessons with Virgil. At this time, he had no idea that his father was a demon and didn't know about the legend of Sparta. But it calls Dante cruel for not returning to the island after the incident around 10 years ago. So this is around a decade since Devil May Cry 2, and maybe sometime after DMC 4, which puts the new timeline DMC 2, well, 3 and 1, 2, Devil May Cry 4, and it segues all the way into the novel, which leads to Devil May Cry 5. And there's novels mixed in with it. Dante said he couldn't help it because he was stuck in a garage dump. Hell and travel between human and the human world isn't easy. But there is how he was able to escape hell, and he says that a hole unexpectedly opened and he traveled through it. Okay, that makes sense. That's how he got out of hell in Devil May Cry 2. Some holes connecting demon world will suddenly appear. These holes seem to be why the island required guardians. Okay, that makes sense. It seems that the small cities have higher likelihood of holes appearing, which is why it's explained Dumali Island and Fortuna have demons appearing. The novel states that when demons enter, they only reject their consciousness, not their physical bodies. If a demon wants to enter in a physical form, a hole has to be massive, which is no problem for Dante because he is half human, and therefore has a human body. So bypass that little requirement there. Dante feels like it wasn't a coincidence that there was a hole large enough for him to pass through. When he went to Fortuna and saw a hell gate, he suddenly don't worry, I'm not gonna say that, so that's totally fine. I'll exit it and it will not save. Perhaps he escaped from hell. His escape from hell is related to Yamato. Maybe. And we still don't know how Virgil lost his sword and it ended up broken, scattered across the world. I think some demons had Yamato's power, and that's how one of them attacked Fortuna Island, and then Arm got infected by Virgil's power. That's what I think happened there. I think Virgil was in hell after DMC 2 and was struggling to survive, and the Yamato broke, and some parts went to the Order, some parts demons had, or at least a fraction of their power, and we're soon going to discover later that one of the demons has a shard of Yamato in a particular demon. Dante describes Yamato as a momentum from her father and has the ability to cut away boundary between human and demon world. Dante says that Lucia subject to calling Dante back to Dumali Island, but there aren't many young men left on the island. Dante said he's not exactly a young man anymore. Dante plays his own lifespan in relation to Sparta's and wonder when he'll be considered an old man. Lucille waited for Dante to return from hell and made several round trips from his office and back to see if he returned. Dante did not return. They hugged and she cried. However, Dante had to leave shortly after as he received a call with a password. Typical Dante. Dante has a rule where he tries to keep his focus solely on the job. Mattia scolds him and says that it's not like she's asking Dante to marry Lucia for life. She just wants him to give her one happy memory. He says, "My bad. I have my reasons." Then Mattia scolds him again for his subpar apology and says that father had a better way of words. Dante says that he likes to think he's a better man than his father. Doesn't Mattia to jab him with her. He says if that is the case, he needs to stop en route to Lucia trying to try to again lecture. Dante changes the subject on why Mattia asked him to come. Mattia asked if he remembered the demon that brought him to the island last time. Dante says that he killed things like a big monkey, but Mattia has to remind him that he killed Argosex. Mattia considers remembering the names of all the demons he defeated with the brain. However, there's one name that he always remembers: Mundus, the demon that brought harm to his mother. Mattia says that the demon has appeared was Argosex's right-hand man. Dante jokes that he dealt with the number 1 guy, now he has to deal with number 2 guy. Dante starts to remember Argosex, but also remembers that he wasn't much of a threat to him, so indicating that Dante got so strong after Devil May Cry 1 that he didn't even consider most demons he fight a real challenge, with the exception of a couple. But Mattia, around half of hell have rallied around this right-hand man, and he has been saving his strength for the past decade to come through the human world. Because of his demon side, Mattia doesn't think it just slipped through a hole. Instead, he reckons that a human is summoning it through a ritual, but she doesn't think that would happen easily on the island with her and Mattia protecting it. Mattia asks if she knows who summoned the demon, but she can't find any evidence of who it is, particularly an artist no longer alive. Okay, he's dead at the end of Devil May Cry 2. Dante asks the name of the demon, and Mattia laughs, saying that, "Aren't you going to forget it tomorrow?" The demon's name is Bow Wow. According to legend, he's a ferocious fire demon. Be careful, hearing this warning makes Dante smile. Nero Chapter 2. Chapter begins with Nico and Nero in the basement of Fortuna Castle, the location of artist research facility. Nico is elated by modern equipment in the facility, looking at and touching everything. He trusts the round cylinder that once housed demons, and once again shows his excitement. Nero asks Nico that what she plans to do with Agnes' research documents. He fears that his daughter will continue his malicious work and once again bring demons to the world. But as the recruit, he keeps a concealed hand on Blue Rose as if he may have to kill her depending on her answer. Nico tells him that she wants to be an artist. Nero becomes confused by her answer and gets a finger off the Blue Rose trigger. He asks if she wants to draw pictures of demons and make her burst into laughter. She said not interested in pictures. She wants to become a first-class weapon arms artist. Nero recalls how skillfully she disassembled the Red Queen. Nico asks if Nero heard of grandfather, the 45 caliber artist. Nero shakes his head, and this infuriates Nico as much as she makes a gesture with her head like she is spinning. She yells at him, "You don't know anything, boy." Nero manages to keep his cool despite being insulted. His attributes this to spending time with taking care of orphans, showing his patience and resistance to insults from younger people. Well, that's good, and at least his temper has mellowed out somewhat. He explains that he probably hasn't heard of her because guns aren't very popular in Fortuna. He said that in the past people looked down on him for using a gun. This raising Nico's interest, asking him if he has a gun. Nero refuses for a bit and then takes out the concealed Blue Rose from his pocket. Nico runs to it and fixates her gaze on it. Once again, shuddering excitement, her mannerisms remind him of August. Nico asks if she can touch the gun and Nero allows it. Nico geeks over The gun and the Blue Rose design is explained: a double-barrel revolver that shoots 2 bullets, slightly timed decay delay on each shot, one for penetrating while the other explodes. Nero impressed that she can identify 2 types of bullets from looking at them as they're nearly identical. Nico says, "Who do you think I am?" Nico says that Blue Rose concept could be thought of, but it would be difficult to execute and would require someone who's very skilled. Because of a longish pun in Japanese, Nero reflects on how Angus certainly was a crazy type. Nero then reflects on his own life circumstance when he feels his morality is questionable. He was raised in a home of honesty and integrity. He looked up to Credo, the person who was like an older brother to him, but now he had Kitty as his lover. Nico talks about her grandmother's guns were simple and beautiful. She says that the final pair she made were very, very beautiful. Nico talks on and on about which Nero is more interested in. However, she says they're called ebony and ivory, one black and one's white. Appropriate names for such fine art. The name raised Nero's interest, and he continues to describe guns, detailing how one is rapid fire and the other is destructive power. The guns are designed with demon hunting in mind, and he believes that the guns are currently being used by a demon hunter. While trying to remember the name, Nero says instead, Dante. Because says that he is correct, and as if he's a celebrity in the demon hunting world. However, Nero is too dumbfounded to as realizes the connection. Nico's grandmother designed the guns that shot her father in the head. Nico demands an answer from him. I want to know what type of guy is using my grandmother's best work. Wait, don't tell me. He's a piece of shit. Nero asks her to be patient while he processes all the information. Nero thinks about how Dante is an important person to him. Dante saved him from the chaos ensuing at Fortuna, but in the process, he killed Agnus. Now, Agnus' daughter is in front of him asking what he's like. Nero is out loud, shit, I'm a bastard. How am I gonna explain this? Causing Nico the reason I wrong. Dante chapter 2. Chapter begins with Dante killing monkey-looking demons on the way to fight Balrog. While killing them, he reflects on how great Ebon and Ivory are and how they were Neil Goldstein's magnum opus. On exposing the demons, Dante hears a heavy French accent behind them. As usual, her guns are wonderful. Turns around and replies with, "Long time no see, Lucia." Lucia asks if he aged a little, and he gives her a bitter smile, telling her that she just imagined it. That he tells her that he didn't change at all, and Lucia reminds him that he can't change no matter how much time passes. It's good. Dante tries to comfort Lucia by telling her that wouldn't pay large amounts of money to try to look youthful, but this isn't a comfort to her. This is an origin story as an artificial demon is repeated. Dante knows that he has a lonely face. Dante starts cracking him. He reminds with Lucia and says that compared to the horror around them, he like something that came straight from heaven. This is a faint smile from Lucia, and she thanks him for coming while putting out a hand to him. This is a surprise to Dante, as he has heard from Mathieu and that Lucia wasn't happy with him coming. Lucia says that Balrog is a bit difficult for one person, so she would appreciate help dealing with him to finish it quicker. Dante smiled as he thinks this is a thin veiled excuse. I can't do this on my own, but he's fine with it as this appears more confident. Dante and Lucia walk shoulder to shoulder to fight Balrog. He reflects that it's been a long time since they've been together, but they walk together like old partners. This is a mutual trust between the pair. The pair fight their way to Balrog, and Balrog simply looks at them. Dante asks if he's shy, and Balrog replies with, "So you finally came." Dante asks if he was waiting for them to appear, and Balrog indeed says that he believes if he was waiting there, eventually a person of strength would come to him. Good idea. Balrog takes a step towards them, which is enough to shake the ground. During this conversation, Dante senses a familiar sensation nearby. Balrog says that after losing his partner Argosex, he'd grown bored, but now has a new power. Dante sees something glimmering from his fist, recognizes it as a shard of Yamato. It seems that when parts of the scattered, a part of it remained in hell. It seems that Balrog using the shard to enter the human world. Dante deduces that Balrog had been using the shard to travel to the human world. Dante was able to escape hell using one of the holes left by Balrog, believing his escape to be a coincidence. Dante said Yamato out loud. Yamato was used to seal the demons away. Now it's helping demons escape from it. The Order of the Sword collected fragments of Yamato to fuel their ambitions, and that is how the Fortuna incident occurred. In response, Dante grabs Rebellion and readies himself to battle. Balrog lets out a massive yell, and Dante, faced by it, he tells Lucia that this is his job as a Balrog, tagging him with his fist. Nico chapter 1. The chapter opens with Nico being Kirie for the first time, as under amassed a lot of research documents. Nico must stay for a while, and Fortuna with Nero and Kirie. Nico doesn't really consider people beautiful. She thinks well-made guns and swords are beautiful. However, she believes that Kirie is so beautiful that it's a rare sight. The way that Kirie looked at Nico reminds her of her mother Alyssa, who died when she was very young. He asks if she's okay to call her Nico. Nico immediately nods and says, "You can call me whatever you want. Nico, Nicoletta, even bitch." In response, Nero stuffed under the table, points at her and yells, "Hey, don't use that dirty word in front of Kirie. Don't use dirty words in front of Kirie." Nico heard that he was your girlfriend, but he couldn't imagine how sure Kirie was to Nero. Nico apologizes to Kirie for her mouth and says that her father is to blame. Nero on a small side. Kirie smiles and them like they were watching two children bicker, which puts Nico at ease. Kirie invites Nico to eat with him, as there's plenty of food to go around. Kirie asks Nico if there's any food that she doesn't like, and Nico responds with, "If you cooked a tire, then I'd eat it," making Kirie laugh. When Kirie goes to the kitchen, Nico tries to get a rise from Nero by saying, "Lovely woman, she's too good for you," instead of snarky. But Nero says, "Yeah, I think so too." As Agnes abandoned Nico and her mother when she was very young, she had a complex feelings towards him. While reflecting on this, Nico blocks the cigarettes and prompt Nero to snatch them away from her. He tells her that she can't smoke in the house, and Nico asks if she can at least smoke in the garage, and she can't work if she doesn't smoke. In the garage, kids wouldn't see her and won't be chased out of the town being an outsider. Nico was told by I know that Fortuna was her father's hometown. He read about him, which is the folklore times, result in trying to collect information over certain demons. That's how she picked up about demons. After this, Nero still orders her to smoke outside. As she stands up to go to smoke, she asks Nero if he wants any of her technology. He neither nodded or objected, but Nico thought it was an implicit acceptance to the offer. Nico says it's fine. It's a give and take. I get to make fine art and you get to use it to kill demons. Like business partners. Nero asks if it's really okay as he was an accomplice in murder. Nico reflects on the story Nero told her about how the man was the must be used to kill the father. Even Nico had a vivid imagination would struggle to think of something like that. However, she concludes that she has no emotional attachment to her father, as he abandoned her. It was around the age of 2 or 3. She didn't even have memories of him. Nico tells him that the incident is in the past, then asks that she can make a phone call when she's done smoking. Nero asks who she's calling and she says, "My dad. I want him to send a package." Realizing how confusing her words were, she corrected herself. Not Agnus, my current dad. His blood relative, my uncle. Nero heard this explanation, his mouth wide open. Lucia chapter. Lucia is watching Balrog fight. Balrog seems for himself and doesn't even get angry when Dante dodges his attack. While watching Dante fight, Lucia, the fish, she committed to herself to her studies and getting stronger, not only so that she would never have to rely on Dante again, so she could one day repay the favor to him. While watching Dante fight, she feels powerless. She wonders if this battle prowess is due to his experience or whether it's simply because he has father's blood. The fight between Dante and Balrog heats up literally as Balrog causes trees and abandoned houses to get caught on fire. Dante asks why Balrog likes fire so much since it's so commonly used. Balrog says that fire is unprecedented and punches Dante with the half fist. The punch collides with the ground. There's a cloud of dust and disappear. Lucia reflectively called out Dante's name, but the cloud disappears. He's protected by a transparent wall. Lucia sees him holding 3 from the chaku. A lot of times since I use these, I'm not good with heat. Dante said as the wall shatters, Haptic infuriates and ready to this was more. In response, he makes it a pose like with Cerberus like a protagonist in a kung fu movie. During the pose, Cerberus starts emitting cool air. Dante commits that comments that he hasn't used it in a while, so he thinks it's power with him. See this Balrog take that ability. Did you tame Cerberus? Lucia remembers what Matthias taught her about Devil Arm. Says that there are 2 ways Devil Arms be created. The demon will turn into a weapon if it's been defeated and becomes submissive, or demon will change into a weapon if there's strong emotional bond present. Dante does the service again. Come on, puppy. Not like I got rid of you. Dante and Balrog was in fighting, but Dante found some the Cerberus. Dante lands a big blow again. Daggers, but it turns out Balrog dagger was a bait. Fires at the right hand. one of them lost a fragment. He goes to attack Dante, surrounds and stuff. So it was like ice, but punches him so hard. It was self-shadow. However, this is bait for Dante. The force of military shadow. The fragment that Balrog had, both from lots of fragment and surges, would be Rambler and they dissipated. At the surface base, inside Rebellion, has the Acid. Guys, what are you gonna do to fight him? Balrog says that he heard rumors him defeating Mundus and Argus. At this point, Balrog either used up his strength or lost the fight. He understands the difference in strength. Balrog says he understands the difference in strength between them and accepts that Dante won. Dante's son is on the flame. Balrog says that he will allow Dante to use him as a devil arm and says that Dante will allow him to power up and then one day they can have a rematch. This scene be the Lord explanation of Balrog's ignition mechanic. The whirlwinds appears in Balrog. Dante is standing with Balrog. Everybody's like, geez, what a selfish guy. Didn't even wait for him to fly. Didn't wait for him out. Lucia asks if he's okay. He shrugs it off and says, these things happen to me. Balrog is talking, which immediately annoys Dante. Dante tells him that one thing to hitch ride with him, but if he keeps talking, then it's gonna have him mad. Lucia can't help but exchange. Lucia becomes lonely at the John ending. We realize that Tia through all along the reason why she didn't want to see Dante again was because her heart longed for him. Lucia calls Dante a murderer out loud. Dante replies that he's a good, irrespective of there being a blood link. Dante says his name out loud and she becomes excited, but he begins to talk about how fragmentally Mata in Balrog hand, which disappoints her. Dante explains how the family allow demons to travel through. He tells her that if an incident like that happens again, he can call him. Lucia tries to read who did them and nods. He recognizes that the fragment Dante destroyed must have been important to him. He tells Dante he's a cruel man and gives her a puzzled look. He says that they should return separately and bids them farewell. Dante tells Lucia to take care of herself. I'm about halfway. Intermission chapter. Hopefully I'll have another hour. If I don't make it to this whole thing, I'll probably make a part 2. Hope you guys are keeping up with me so far. If you're enjoying this novel, you know what you guys can do. Anyway, onto the intermission. Please note that there is a lot of reminiscing in this scene, so this is why I'm seeing the scene. Art Goldstein is taking a collect call from Nico. Lots of guns and ammo. It's just that thing that Fortuna, she wants him to send her clothes, tools, and the issue of Folklore Times from her bedroom. Rock calls it third rate article and Nico yells at him, just send it, and then hangs up. Rock rubs his hair, which cut a patch on his right eye. Rock Goldstein, the son of Neil Goldstein and Roy Martin, a wealthy man. He wasn't sure romance, but not sure what sparked the romance. He thinks it may have been guns due to Roy's love for hunting. Rock was brought up in a gun-loving home, but he was never allowed to near unsupervised. He wasn't allowed into Nico's workshop without permission. When Rock was 7, he snuck into Neil's workshop and played with a gun. Building his carelessness resulted in losing most of the sight in his right eye. Alright. Roy blamed Nico for Rock's incident. Eventually, Roy told Neil that she needed to stop making guns. To Neil, that's like death sentence. It's like a death sentence. That night, Rock goes to Nico's workshop, apologizes and blames himself for what happened. Neil is moved to tears, and she sues him, telling him that it's her fault. Rock slipped a piece of paper, hand-drawn metal, recognizing her as a 45 caliber artist due to Rock's age. It's misspelled 45 artworks. Neil begins to sob and hug her tightly, saying sorry and thank you repeatedly. Rock says, "Mommy, please don't stop making guns. I'm okay." Neil decides to continue making guns, resulting in the end of her relationship with Roy. While Rock wanted to go with his mother, he didn't have anywhere to go or anyone to rely on. In contrast, Roy is very wealthy and had property. Rock was forbidden from seeing his mother and had to run up to the bedroom window and see her leave. While she didn't look back, Rock saw that she was walking with the medal in her hand. After divorcing Neil, it didn't take long for Roy to remarry. Rock couldn't accept Roy's new wife and became rebellious. When Alyssa was born, Roy focused his attention on her, leaving Rock becoming estranged from his family. That sucks. Rock got a job at Ouroboros in the weapons development. He learned of the mother's whereabouts. Due to the company's strict work condition, he wasn't able to get a day off for a year. Wow, that sucks. That's worse than Pilgrims. By the time he went to see her, he'd been dead for 6 months. Dang, what terrible luck he got. From that day, Rock abandoned the surname of Martin and became a Goldstein. He quit Ouroboros and opened up a small rock guns and ammo in an attempt to become Neil's successor. Rock's father was infuriated that he quit his job at Ouroboros as he helped get that job. In response, Rock said that he is proud to be Neil Goldstein's son. While looking for the key to Nico's room, Rock comes across failed and abandoned vision of his. He says that he wanted to be Neil's successor. He didn't have her abilities. He wonders what he would be capable of if he was trained by her. Rock remembers a time that he made fun of by a woman who spent the night with him. "I thought you were a tough guy, but you have an Oedipus complex that keeps saying mommy, mommy in your sleep." And that sucks. Shortly after Rock started his business, his father and stepmother died. Rock suspected that it was due to suicide as Roy accrued a considerable amount of debt after the failed investment. Doesn't pay to be wealthy, I guess. The mansion was repossessed and they had no savings left, so Alyssa was left with nothing. Although Rock's business wasn't doing well, he couldn't stand to see a blood relative left out in the cold, so he brought her to the shop and let her live there. Alyssa got off the job at Ouroboros. They could live more comfortably thanks to Alyssa's income, and Rock's shop got more trade thanks to his improved skills. One day, Alyssa asked if it was okay to bring someone home. When Rock asked who it is, dang. Alyssa blushes. Rock says, "I love her. Where did you two meet?" Alyssa tells him it was a company employee, and he replies, "What does he work at?" "What does he work as?" "Don't. It's a researcher or a Bulls researcher." Are beyond weird. Alyssa and tells her that it's a researcher. Scrolling down. Rock couldn't understand, but when he asked, he said he's cute. Rock thought he was too lovesick to understand what cute meant. Rock reflected on how Agnus didn't look like other researchers. He was so large and burly. Rock says that Agnus' nice monocle is ill and antiquated, to which Agnus replied, like, it's custom made. Rock smiles at Agnus not understanding sarcasm. Other became pregnant and left the job at all. Didn't mean to do that. Now I had to figure out where I was. Intermission. Okay, sorry about that. Rock feels that the following 2 years were the happiest of his life. He got a little Nicoletta, grow and eat Alyssa's delicious food. After the 2 years, Agnus tells Alyssa that he needs to return to Fortuna following his holiness orders. What about the story? But they didn't mind. He didn't do anything weird like sacrificing pigs. Alyssa asks why she can't go, and Agnus says that only believers can live there. She says that she become a believer, but Agnus says it's impossible as she never understand the creed. A few days later, exit that. Agnus disappeared. Alyssa planned to follow him, but she collapsed and went into the hospital, diagnosed with an incurable disease. But her focus always remained going to Fortuna. A few years later, Alyssa died without being able to go. After her death, Rock legally adopted Nico and raised her into adulthood. He didn't intentionally raise her to be a gunsmith. She became interested herself. And they shot Nico's claim. Oh, what is this? It's so beautiful. He was holding a photograph of 2 guns brought to Rock's shop several months ago. But mommy made those, took a photo of them. Nico responds, "Your mother, my great. She's awesome." These guns were Ebony and Ivory. A man named Dante brought them to Rock, and he found it suspicious that Raven Tony Redgrave. Dante explains that it was a name that he told the old lady who made them. It was common for people to get excuses like that if they're robbed a gun from someone else, but Rock didn't take Dante. He could tell from examining the guns that they were designed to hunt the occult, and he could tell there was something abnormal about Dante. While in the shop, Dante points out the Raven Bear and asks Rock to fix it. Rock has at the site 45 artworks on the gun. That's Mummy out loud. Or he says Mummy out loud. Dante explains that he eventually wanted to get the mistake corrected, but he didn't want any of those to place the old lady's masterpiece. If anyone should correct it, it'd be you, don't you think? Rock Goldstein. While fighting back tears, Rock buys guns is beautiful. Shouldn't have a mistake on them. After fixing the mistake, he gets a feeling that he'll never see them again. Rock packs a box and sends to Nico. Rock feels that Nico didn't choose to stay in Fortuna City because of Agnus. He must be doing it for something else. For leaving on the Nico told Rock that he is giving up becoming a gunsmith. She doesn't think he can surpass Nero just by making guns. Mr. causes Rock and he asks her what she plans to do instead. Nick replies, I don't know what weapons I'm gonna make yet, but I know they're gonna be art. Rock and Nico are connected through blood by his half-sister Alyssa, but there is no blood connection between Nico and Neo. Despite this, Nico always calling Neo grandmother. When he's to Rock, she doesn't even call him dad. Before Nico leaves, Rock says, "You best, Nico. I know you'll surpass mom, mother." He knows that one day Nico will arms in arms, and when that day comes, he'll get to say, "Grandmother made that." The thought makes him smile. Nico Chapter 2. The chapter begins with Nico and Nero in the garage as he saws the devil may cry neon sign that Dante in previous novel. Nico said he finds the name about the weird, but Nero didn't think of it since Dante told him that the name of his business. Nico jokes that he doesn't cry since Nero is working with him. Nero says that he thought about it, but it doesn't sound cool. I'm gonna stop right here and just be on the lookout for part 2. Catch you guys later.